What's good, EGF Hoop Squad? This is your boy EGF Hoops here, back with another amazing video. As you saw by the title, we're about to talk about the two-time MVP Steph Curry blew a 3-1 lead against LeBron James. This was the same Steph Curry that was leading a 73-9 win team and somehow blew a 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving, of course. But before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that sub button to get me to 1K for 2022. Go down below and hit my IRL channel, EGF Space Ron, as you can see on screen, and give me the 10K for 2022 there. That's our goal. We're going to be posting on both of these channels 3 to 4 times a week, 3 being the minimum, 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky being the most. Now let's get straight into this video. The 2016 finals, we saw a Golden State Warriors team led by two-time MVP Steph Curry with a great supporting class of Klay, Dre, Iggy, and others go against the Cavaliers led by an all-time great LeBron James and company Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and this is a series that won 7 games, like I said before. Cavs trailed 3-1 and came back to victory, first team to do it in NBA history. There's a lot of things that happened in the series that just flat out wasn't addressed, and I feel like will probably never be addressed in NBA history, which is why this video is made. We all just look back at this 73-win team versus this Cavs team and it was like, oh, it was equal, when in reality it wasn't. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna recognize how this wasn't equal. But we're about to go over game 1. In game 1, we saw the Golden State Warriors win with the score being 104-89. Golden State torched Cleveland's bench. I'm not even gonna hold you. I rewatched all these games. Golden State outscored Cleveland's bench 45-10. Sean Livingston shot 8 for 10 from mid-range, along with Iggy, who finished with 12. Best plus minus in the game, you know, the person who won finals MVP the year before, he had a plus 21 plus minus. In this playoff game, we saw LeBron play fairly average while Klay and Steph played terrible, which is rare. All three of the best players in this series played pretty bad. LeBron finished with 23, 9, and 12 and a plus minus a -9. Now when you hear 23, 9, and 12, it doesn't sound bad, but it's below average for LeBron in the finals. We saw Steph Curry finish with 11, 6, and 5, and he only shot 26% from the field with 5 turnovers. And Klay only had 9 points, shooting 20% from 3. But thanks to Draymond 16, 7, and 11, and Sean Livingston 20, Golden State came on top of game 1. In game 2, we seen a massacre with the game score finalizing 110-77. Draymond finished with 28 with 5 threes made, along with the MVP only having 18 due to foul trouble. And we saw Klay with 17. LeBron had only finished with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. He had an atrocious 7 turnovers in this game as well. In this game, we also saw Andrew Bogut tie a record with Ben Wallace. He had 5 blocks, with 4 of them being in one quarter. But in this same game, he got injured. He also got injured in this game with a groin injury due to an offensive foul on LeBron James. So let's recap. Cavs are down 0-2 and Bogut goes down with a hand injury. He comes back next game, and Iggy does too, and he comes back next game as well. Both hurt. We saw Draymond Green carry Golden State, and we saw LeBron underperform with him only averaging 21 points through these first 2 games of this NBA Finals. But we know this series went 7 games. So this is just the beginning, but let's get into game 3. In game 3, we've seen the Cavs come on top with a 30-point win that was much needed. We've seen LeBron be the LeBron James we all know and love, scoring 32 points, grabbing 11 rebounds while Kyrie scored 30. Curry only had 19, Barnes had 18, and Klay only had 10. We seen JR make 5 threes while Tristan Thompson had 13 rebounds. The Cavs out-rebounded the Warriors by 20 and outshot the league's best 3-point shooting team. Much needed win by the Cavs. They're down 2-1 now. In game 4, we seen the Warriors pull away with Curry back to normal. The Warriors won by 11 with Curry having 38 and Klay having 25. Kyrie led the Cavs with 34 points while LeBron had 25, 13, and 9 as the Warriors went up 3-1. Kevin Love also had little impact with 11 points. I didn't mention this, but Kevin Love was in and out of the lineups. He had a concussion the game before in game 2. He came back game 3 off the bench. He put in 11 points. I chose not to make Kevin Love a big focal point because within all the finals that he's played pretty poorly. He was injured to make this as unbiased as possible. He was out game 2. He left early with the concussion. He came back off the bench in this game, and then in game 5, I believe it is, that's when he came back fully healthy. He's back in the starting lineup. All right, this is the obvious turning point in the series, as I said before. Let's take a look. The Warriors are up 3-1, and LeBron isn't meeting career averages due to Iggy, Bogut, Draymond, and Fetus Ezeli all containing him. In game 5, Draymond was suspended, and major injuries hurt the Warriors, with Bogut going down in game 5 and 6, we're going to see, and Iggy suffering even more with injuries on top of his groin. He had back stiffness. I think it was game 5 and 6. We're going to get there. But before we do, let's look at LeBron averages while the 3 major pieces containing him was there/intact. In the first 4 games of the 2016 NBA Finals, LeBron averaged 25, 8, and 11, which is stellar numbers, but his points per game was below average. And we've seen him have some better finals performances than this. 25, 8, and 11. Example, 2012, he had 29, 10, and 8. 2014, he had 29, 8, and 4. 2015, 35, 13, and 9. Oh my God. 2017, 34, 12, and 10. You can look at 2018, he had 34, 9, and 10, or you can look at even the past year, the year that just passed, 30, 12, and 9. So obviously the Warriors were doing something that these teams couldn't do, as in stopping them with the bodies they was throwing at them. You had Iggy, who contained them last year and he won Finals MVP off of it. You had Draymond Green, a Defensive Player of the Year. I think he won it twice. Azili off the bench did some work, and Andrew Bogut was getting blocks like they were crazy and just being a great rim protector. This had the Warriors up 3-1. So we're in game 5 of this NBA Finals. We saw Draymond go out with a suspension, and we seen Bogut have to get helped off the floor with a knee sprain after blocking a shot by J.R. Smith, which resulted in LeBron scoring 41, 16 with 7 assists with the help of Kyrie scoring 41. Oh my God. We seen Curry finish with 26 and Klay's 37 to try and help. Wasn't much they could do with Bogut only playing 8 minutes due to injury. As well, they was forced to play in Iguodala due to that, who was already hurt from game 1 and 2 with his groin. He played 41 minutes with a groin injury. This team constantly trapped Curry, and it was obvious they needed a playmaker with Harrison Barnes shooting 2 for 14. The Cavs weren't even guarding Harrison Barnes. He was playing so poorly. So as we've seen with Harrison Barnes struggling and 2 of the best defenders on the Warriors out, LeBron went off. Game 6, we've seen the Cavs win 115 and 101, forcing a game 7. LeBron had another 40-plus point game. In total, he had 41, 11, 8, beating Curry, who had 30 and fouled out and ejected in the fourth quarter. Bogut didn't play, and Iggy got hit with another injury with him feeling stiffness in his back. After playing the entire first quarter, he had to leave. He eventually returned, although he could barely walk straight with him hobbling to the court and not even be able to stand in a defensive stance to show his strength and quickness, or even attempt to stand in front of LeBron James. Iggy played in this game. Iggy finished with 5 points with a plus minus of -25, which I can't blame him for someone with a groin injury on top of back stiffness to where he can barely walk. He couldn't even play adequate defense at all. The series is now tied 3-3 and the Cavs have now forced a game 7. Harrison Barnes was struggling. Iggy is injured. Bogut is out, and we all know what happens next. Oh yeah, and Curry's playing horrible. There's no excuse for that. That's just facts. Game 7 of the NBA Finals resulted in Cleveland winning their first NBA championship, and Cleveland ending the drought of 54 years. LeBron had 27, 11, and 11 in this game, with Kyrie scoring 26. Curry only had 17, and Klay only had 14, with Draymond having more than both combined with 32. A beat-up Iguodala was forced to play 38 minutes. This resulted in another fairly great game for LeBron James, on top of Curry shooting 6 for 19. So it seems history was made, and LeBron pulled off the impossible to win, in his words, one of the hardest championships ever. But look, considering Iggy was the Finals MVP last year and suffered from 2 different types of injuries to 2 different parts of his body, Bogut was out since game 5, who was their rim protector, and Draymond was also suspended game 5. These are things that they don't often tell you when looking back at LeBron James rings or the Golden State era saga. Now let's go over a couple of stats. Let's look at what LeBron averaged the first 4 games of the series again. As I said before, 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists, which was before the injuries and suspensions. Now let's look at his averages through the final 3 games alone. He averaged 36, 9, and 12. Those were his averages from the final 3 games. The first 4, 25, 8, and 11. The last 3, 36, 9, and 12. Now everyone chooses to ignore this, especially the bronze-sexuals, so I choose to look at this as a whole. And I come to say that the whole 3-1 lead thing on a 73-win team isn't fairly looked at, while it never will be fairly looked at for what it's worth. It's fair to say that if Bogut never got injured, Draymond never got injured. It's fair to say that if Bogut never got injured, Iggy never got injured, Draymond didn't get suspended, it's fair that we all say that the Warriors would have won this series if they were healthy. There is some arguments to combat this for you LeBron sexuals out there. 2015, LeBron alone, up 2-1 on the Warriors, lost the series 4-2. They won 1 game in the series and was down 3-1 before suspension happened to someone who was carrying. We're talking about someone who had 32 points. I think it was game 6. He led the Warriors in points prior and was the obvious best player in this whole series besides LeBron James and arguably Kyrie Irving. And that's about it for this video, y'all. We got 3 to 4 videos a week coming on this channel and my main channel. If you're a personality and you love the way I sound and you want to see the way I look, talk, walk, because you know I'm every single girl on this planet's fantasy, don't forget to go down below and hit my link and go sub to my main channel. Go watch some videos because I got bangers coming on there too. I'm happy y'all watched this. I love you guys more than I love myself. More basketball videos coming soon. Comment down below. Like the video. I will argue. Go follow my Instagram. It's been on the channel the whole time. EGF Squad, we out. Peace.